What's my secondary? Oh, shotgun.
Contact.
Probably use this. Probably people to the left.
Мне нужно укрытие. Прикрой меня.
That sounded like a familiar phrase from like old Call of Duties. Don't know what it means, but definitely heard it before. Oh shit. Let's throw a nice frag. And let's run away and try to get some headshots.
Aim for the head. Aim for the head.
Oh, he threw a stun grenade. I should have expected that because he did say stun granato. I mean, I just heard the Granado part, but he, I guess he said stun before that. You know, I have my own tacticals.
Ah shit! I hate these guys. Take it
Frag out. Oh, I thought he died. Run! Who's helping me? Adler? Adler, please.
Aim for the head.
Yeah, I know. I really hope that went around the wall. Oh, I have smoke grenades. That's not that great. I thought they were stuns or flashbangs.
Finish him. We're losing time.
Oh shit, I forgot we're on a time limit.
We got 5 minutes.
I don't know if it's a...
Europe goes nuclear. Pick
Well,
up the base.
we're gonna have to rush through this stuff then.
Power's coming back on.
Adler, you seeing this?
Woods, we're running out of time. I gotta tell Hudson to launch.
That's a big gamble if that gun ain't cleared. Watch it. Heavy MG on the ridge. Hudson, start your bombing run. Copy that.
Dude,
Get your team out
you
of
see
there,
that guy's
Adler.
body
Those bombers
flailing
won't
around
return.
there?
We don't clear that
It's like a
last
wacky
area.
inflatable arm flailing
Better
tube man.
bulk up.
Damn, it would have been nice if I had some grenades. Or smokes.
Now, the bombers will be here any minute.
Coordinates confirmed. 1 minute to bomb strike.
Radio
Shit,
towers
we
are
have
still booting up. We got a
like
chance.
1 minute. Well, we got a big ammo. Big ammo. The biggest of ammos.
Bell, we gotta go now.
I'm pretty sure the countdown was actually fake. And that is really loud, holy crap. I'm pretty sure the countdown was fake, because I don't think that was 12 minutes.
Stop the nukes.
Thank God.
And
That was
the
it?
CIA.
Did they get Perseus?
No, sir. His whereabouts are unknown.
And a Russian
great.
response?
Nothing yet. We're seeing signs of confusion. It's possible this was all a rogue operation. Perseus may not have been following orders from Moscow.
Well, I'll be damned. Maybe we have something in common after all.
All right, cool.
We stopped them. Those towers are history. What's your situation down there?
Everybody might
Come
be
in.
dead.
Woods, have you found them yet?
Over here.
Is Woods gonna save the day
Give me a hand.
again?
Take my hand, Bell. We did it. This is a message to Perseus and those that'll follow him. We don't just sit back and hope for the best. We'll make the best happen. This is how wars are won, Bell.
All right. I guess we did it.
Do you have an update on Qasim Javadi?
Yeah, after capturing Qasim Javadi, we've convinced him he's better off working for us, rather than against us. The death of Arash Kadivar opens a path for Qasim to take control of their network. He'll give us deeper insight into Soviet activity in the Middle East, and with our resources behind him, he should be able to influence regional affairs for years to come.
Oh, this is the first side mission we did, I think.
What about Anton Volkov?
And then this is
Volkov
a second
has become
one.
a prime source of information since his capture. After interrogating him, MI6 quickly established a series of listening posts in East Berlin. They've already intercepted messages from the KGB to assets throughout the city. We're poking holes in the Iron Curtain.
All right, cool. Get some,
How did the cleanup in Havana go?
We were able to recover the remains of agents Azulay and Park from the compound
God
in Cuba.
damn it.
Their caskets are in transit to Tel Aviv and London, respectively. President Reagan personally reached out to their families.
I'm blaming Treyarch on that one for making it a hold F instead of
We
tap
spoke to
F.
MI6. They're understandably displeased. We owe them one. What about the rest of the team?
They got off Solovetsky before the Soviets could send in forces to investigate. We'll take some time to heal up, then it's back to work.
Yeah, I'm still really annoyed about that one.
We may have
Really
stopped
annoyed.
Perseus, but his rats are still nesting all around us, thanks to the help of one of our own.
Not anymore. We took down that son of a bitch Aldrich, as well as his key assets here in the States. It'll take Perseus a while to recover from this one.
Oh, that's the first side mission we did.
What
And
about
I
Europe?
can't remember.
Not only did we stop a nuclear attack, we managed to take out Major Vadim Rudnik. That should be a significant blow to Perseus's European network. We also flushed all of Rudnik's key assets down the shitter. Maybe someday Perseus can join him.
Hudson, you're the Shakespeare of Langley. And Bell.
I wasn't really paying attention to that one.
Arctic air. Clears the head, doesn't it? Bell, you made
Sure,
two
I
extraordinary
guess.
sacrifices to stop Perseus. One was without your knowledge. The other, you made that decision of your own accord. I just want you to know that this little thing that's happened with you and me, it was always for the greater good. You're a goddamn hero, you know that, kid. Heroes have to make sacrifices. That's why when I ask you for one more, I hope you understand.
Oh
It
no.
was never personal.
Oh no. Click, click. Damn it. I was clicking. Son of a bitch. Why? What's he gonna do? He's gonna take all the credit for everything? All right. Whatever, dude. I don't care. I don't really care that much. I mean, there was really no connection to have with Bell anyway, other than, oh, he's your character. All right, but there's really no reason for me to care about him that much. And then Adler, I don't know what's going on there. I'm so... Whatever, the game's over, doesn't matter. Alright, so I'm gonna record this part again because, as usual, I ended up rambling way too much, so I'm gonna try to keep it a little bit shorter. So first things first, the ending there, it's kind of weird, but, you know, it doesn't really matter that much because Bell didn't really have that much of a personality, and we didn't really have any connection to him other than, well, he's our character, that's it. He didn't have personality, he didn't have really a backstory that we could connect to or anything. I mean, he was a former whatever, working for the enemy, whatever. I don't know. But, you know, I didn't really care too much about Bell, so the ending there isn't like too disappointing. Now, if they had developed him as an actual character with a personality and everything, well, I might feel differently, but I don't, so. Anyway, interesting ending, but, you know, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And they didn't really develop characters a whole lot, as much as I would like. I mean, they did a pretty good amount for Adler and Park, but people like Lazar and Sims, they didn't really do much with them, it seems like. It seems like they were focusing more on like Adler and Park and maybe Hudson a little bit. They did bring back Mason Woods, which is cool. Those are already developed characters, so, you know, I was happy to see them again. But, you know, the new characters really didn't have much other than, well, I don't know. It just seems like there could have been more there. But one of the reasons why I wanted to save Park was because it seemed like we had gotten to know her better than Lazar. So, yeah. I don't know. The character development was kind of iffy. Not sure. But I did want to save Park, and unfortunately I couldn't because the game just didn't work. Or it was just... It didn't work that well because they had a countdown timer in-game, right? You know, there was somebody counting down from 10. So I'm like, oh, I got 10 seconds to decide. But no, you actually really only have like 5 seconds to decide because you have to have enough time so that you can hold F. If it was just a tap F, I would have been able to grab Park and we would have gotten out of there. But nope, they had to make it hold. So I didn't get to save either one of them, and that's really annoying. I'm still upset about it. But oh well. It seems like it didn't affect the game that much. I mean, pretty much it was just the explanations of what happened at the end of the game. That's the only thing it affected. You know, they were talking about, you know, how certain side missions turned out, and it was all just the conversation at the end, and that's really the only thing that got affected, so it's not that big of a deal. But still, I would have liked to have saved Park, and, you know, maybe she would have been with us in the final mission or something. But, nope, because they decided to go with a hold F to save Park, which means you have to allocate a few seconds in the 10-second countdown to make the decision. And, you know, if it, like I said, if it was a tap F to choose, would have saved her. But oh well, enough about that. That's really one of the only issues I had with the story. Other than that, I think overall the story was pretty good. Like I said earlier, I like that everything had a purpose. You know, the character creation was actually implemented into the story at the end of the game. Because at first I was like, this is kind of gimmicky, but then it's like, oh, this is part of the story. So that was pretty cool. And then the evidence, you know, actually finding intel in levels is useful. It's actually used in the side missions. So it does have a purpose. It's not just like, oh, here's a collectible, here's an achievement, that's it. So yeah, I'm glad everything had a purpose. And then the gameplay was good. The only part of the gameplay I didn't like was the stealth stuff. That's just because I don't like stealth that much, but oh well. But other than that, the gameplay was pretty good. The gunplay felt so good compared to multiplayer. Like, you know, it was nice that I could actually point my gun at somebody, shoot at them, and have the bullets register, and they die. That was nice. Because in multiplayer, for some reason, I just cannot aim at people because my crosshairs will either not want to go onto their body or it'll go past their body and bullets just won't register. So I'll talk more about that later, but you know, the gunplay in multiplayer, it feels so terrible But then playing through the campaign, it's like, holy shit, this is what it feels like for guns to actually work. And I really wish that was the case for multiplayer, but it's not. So anyway, the campaign had a pretty good story. I did enjoy how everything was tied together, and you know, I like that everything had a purpose. And like I said, the gunplay was pretty good. So overall, the story was pretty good. The campaign, unfortunately, was only 6 to 7 hours for me, I think. I don't really know. In editing, I think it shows that I'm at like 7 hours, a little under 7 hours probably. So, you know, somewhere between 6 and 7 hours, which is pretty short, especially with getting all the side missions done and finding the secrets. That was also another thing I liked, looking at evidence, trying to figure out how things work together, and you know, trying to solve this puzzle. I kind of like that as well. But yeah, it was pretty short, and that's not a very good thing. Now there is replayability because you can go through and make different decisions, see how it affects the story. You can see how they change the evidence stuff. So yeah, there's a little bit of replayability there, but unfortunately it's too short. And I did like that they had some historical figures in there. You know, they had Reagan and Gorbachev, which was pretty interesting. I'm not really a big fan of Reagan because there are some policies that are just I don't really like, but I'm not gonna get into that right now because I just don't feel like it. But even though I don't like Reagan, they did give him a role of being a good leader in a way. You know, he was like, that speech he gave at the beginning was like really inspiring, and it's like, yeah, let's go get him. So at least he has that characteristic, being able to speak well and inspire people. It's nice to see, and it's nice to remember that that is kind of what a president is supposed to sound like, because the past 4 years have not been like that. But like I said, I don't want to get into that right now. But it was interesting that they portrayed him in that manner. So yeah, I like seeing that. It was interesting to see Gorbachev. I didn't know he was like a Secretary of State type thing for Russia or the Soviet Union at one point. I thought he was just the leader, but I don't know. I'm not too familiar on the whole Russian side of things. But I do like learning about history and stuff. So when I see that type of stuff in a video game, I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be interesting. So yeah, I like seeing that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, the other thing was the inventory thing that was locked up in the safe house. You did have to solve a puzzle by looking at different pieces of paper, but you could also figure that out without looking at everything, because the code was just the day that JFK was assassinated, which if you know that, when you look at the clues, there was a Warren Commission and what was it, Dallas newspaper thing. So use those, and it's like, this is related to JFK. Let's see what day he was assassinated on, and then boom, there's the code. So that was pretty interesting. I like that. So yeah, the historical stuff they put into the game was pretty cool. It made it a lot more interesting. Was it historically accurate? I don't know, but it was nice to see. I don't know. I just like seeing. I like being in a historical setting in a video game, especially one like Call of Duty. That's one of the reasons why I like Black Ops 1 so much. So yeah. Again, overall the campaign was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was pretty fun for the most part. Like I said, the gunplay felt great. Stealth sections, not a big fan of, but that's just how I am as a player. I don't really like being stealthy. But You know, other than that, the game was pretty fun. Unfortunately, it was just too short. So, yeah. And there's a little bit of replayability, but you're probably not going to get that much time out of it. Now, you do have zombies and multiplayer as well. I've heard zombies is pretty good, but regular zombies can get repetitive. They do have a new onslaught mode, which sounds really cool. You get dropped into a multiplayer map and you just fight off waves of zombies. So I'd like to try that out eventually, but unfortunately it's only available on the PS4 and PS5 for the next year. It's a year-long exclusive. 2021, it's like, alright, everybody gets it, so if you're on PC and Xbox, you have to wait until next year to play it, which is really shitty. I don't like that. So I won't be able to play it unless I do get it on PlayStation, and hopefully I'll get a PS5 eventually, and if I do, I may buy Black Ops Cold War, but I don't know if I will, because other than the possible fun I can have in zombies and the new onslaught mode, I don't think there's really that much fun, because the multiplayer is just, it's not good right now. So I'll get into that next, but right now it's just not really worth playing at all. And you know, zombies can get repetitive. You don't have access to onslaught if you're on PC or Xbox, only if you're on PS4 or PS5. And the campaign's pretty short, so I don't really know if I can recommend it. I don't know if I can recommend buying this game currently. Now, if they fix the multiplayer stuff, then maybe it would be a really good Call of Duty. But right now, it's just really not worth the $60 or $70 on next-gen consoles. So, yeah, I don't know. But now, we're gonna get into the multiplayer. So, I've got some multiplayer gameplay here. I'm not sure how many matches I'm gonna have, but that depends on how long I sit here ranting about the multiplayer. But there'll be at least one match, so you guys have something to watch. And depending on how much time is left, I may put another gameplay in, or I might just go and find some clips and put those in. But the main thing I want to showcase is the difference between using a controller and using keyboard and mouse. So the first match that you're seeing is a match on satellite. I'm using the Type 95, and it is like the second match I'm trying out a controller, because usually I use keyboard and mouse. But I know that aim assist is super strong in this game, so I wanted to see just how different it felt, and oh boy, it was different. My shots were actually hitting. Now, before this match, I was not doing too well. I was getting destroyed a lot. I was losing a lot. So maybe the game decided to put me into an easier lobby. Or the controller's aim assist may have just helped me hit my shots more, which in turn made me do better. Not sure, but it was nice when my bullets would actually hit my target, because when I use keyboard and mouse, it's just, I struggle to get onto target, because it seems like my crosshairs just don't want to, you know, lock onto my target. So there were quite a few times playing with a mouse where I would do like a windshield wiper motion, you know, I'm aiming to the left to the enemy, and then I'm trying to correct that. And then I move to the right, but then it goes too far to the right, so I'm going back to the left, and then it's just like back and forth, and for some reason I can't get that, like, very minute aim that I need. Even though I'm playing on a pretty low sensitivity in this game, it almost feels like there's some sort of aim resistance going on. And that's understandable for like a controller, because, you know, aim assist sometimes is kind of wonky, so it'll put you too far to the left or right, and you have to overcorrect, and then it just doesn't work. But on a mouse, it doesn't really make sense that much unless there's some sort of like invisible force field around the enemy that's just not letting you get onto target, and it's like repelling your crosshairs off their body. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, because with crossplay, I feel like they're trying to make it so that it's harder to be accurate with the mouse so that people with controllers can have a fighting chance. So it does seem like that's the case when I'm playing with a mouse. It just feels like my aim does not want to go onto the enemy's body. I don't know. It just feels like there's something in the game that doesn't want me to hit my target. Because my aim shouldn't be this bad. I mean, you saw when I was playing the campaign. The shots were on point pretty much. I didn't have any issues with the aiming in the campaign. When I play against bots, I don't really have those issues either. But, you know, when I'm playing the campaign, how everything's flowing so nicely, it's very smooth gameplay, and my aim is actually on point. It's like, why can't the multiplayer feel this way? So it does feel like there's something going on in the background where it's intentionally making me miss my shots. Like a sort of aim resistance. I don't know, but maybe it's in my head. Who knows? But then when I pulled out the controller, I started hitting more shots because of the aim assist. And there were some instances where I'm like, how did I kill that guy? Because I remember, I don't know why my voice is breaking up here, but I remember trying to pull my crosshairs onto a target and aiming down sight, and I'm pulling the trigger a little bit too early, so some shots are going off sooner than I want because they're still off target, but those bullets were still hitting because the aim assist had already locked on to the enemy, I think. I don't know, but that's what it felt like on my screen, and if you look close enough, you might be able to see that in this first gameplay here. And then there were also moments where I'm hard scoping, put my crosshairs onto an enemy, and then it just sticks there. Like, my crosshairs are just stuck on that guy's body because I'm using the controller. So, I don't know what's going on. It's weird. The game feels so weird. But yeah, the difference between using a controller and a keyboard and mouse is just ridiculous. And unfortunately, the controller feels a whole lot better and makes the game a little bit less frustrating because your bullets actually hit more. But the game is still frustrating overall. And I think that has a lot to do with the matchmaking system. So a lot of people have been saying, oh, it's skill-based matchmaking, putting you against good players and, you know, making the games even and making them super competitive, and because of that the games are frustrating and they're not fun. And there is some sort of skill-based matchmaking involved, but it's kind of implemented into this like bigger sort of matchmaking system. So there have been people that have been talking about EOMM, which is engagement optimized matchmaking, I believe. Not 100% sure on the name there, but it is called EOMM, so you can Google that and do some research for yourself. But from what I read, it takes into consideration the player's skill level, the way the player plays, like, are they an aggressive player? Are they a defensive player? Are they camping a lot? You know, that type of stuff. And I think they also look at, you know, how the matches have been going for you recently. So they look at all that stuff. They're going to put you against players similar to how you play. And then it seems like they also look at your wins and losses in your recent matches. And if you've been losing too much, then they may be like, okay, we're going to put him into a slightly easier lobby. And then if you do well in that lobby, it's like, alright, he's had his taste of success. Now we're going to put him into the sweaty lobbies again. And that seems to be how it goes. And basically, EOMM is predetermining how your matches are going to go. So, you know, if you've been winning a lot, they're going to put you into a losing lobby by putting you on the team with the worst players. That's why instead of having a bunch of players on both teams that are equally good, there's generally a team that's better most of the time, that are obviously better, because if you're a good player, sometimes you'll get matched up with a team who just does not know how to play. You know, you look at your team and they're all like 0.2 KDs and you're sitting there with like your 2 KD, and it's like, how the hell do I have these teammates? And you look at the other team and they're all like 5 KDs, and it's like, why is that happening? because if skill-based matchmaking was real, you wouldn't have those kind of teammates. So it's more of a EOMM thing, where they intentionally put you on that bad team because you've been winning too much recently, so they're going to give you a loss intentionally. And that's generally how they look at it. And if you've been losing a lot, then maybe you'll be put on the good team, but that'll only happen for like a match or two, and then they're like, okay, that's good enough. We're gonna put him back into the sweaty lobbies where he's losing all the time. So that's generally what EOMM is, to my understanding. They just pretty much decide who's gonna win the match before the match even begins. And they also pretty much look at how you're gonna play and kind of do the same thing, predetermine how you're gonna do in that match before the match even begins. So everything's predetermined. You know, whether you win or lose, they already know, because they know which players are on what teams, and they're gonna make one of those teams the winners. And generally that's gonna be the one with all the good players. So, I don't know, that's what it sounds like to me. They just predetermine how the match is gonna go, and they seem to think that because you're losing all the time, it's like, I wanna play more. And then if you're winning too much, it's like, nah, I don't wanna play anymore. And I don't know, they think it'll somehow retain the person's attention long enough so that they actually invest a lot of time into the game, and then because of that, they buy more microtransactions. So that's kind of what's going on with EOMM, I think. Like, everything is just predetermined. That also might be what's affecting the hit detection in the game. You know, if you're playing too well, it's like, oh, this guy's aim is too good. Let's take away some of his bullet registration so that other players have a chance to kill him, and make him think that he needs to improve or something. I don't know. But that's pretty much the case for Cold War multiplayer. And those are really the two main issues that I can think of right now. It's just controllers having way too much aim assist, mouse users not having any hit detection, basically. Like, having awful hit detection. And I should also mention that using a controller, recoil does not really matter, because your aim is going to stay on target, even if your gun's recoiling, because the aim is that sticky. On a mouse, your gun starts recoiling, and it's really hard to keep on target. So that's an issue. EOMM is an issue. It's making the game super competitive and sweaty, and it's just a really frustrating experience. And because of that, they had to change the score streak system, and I'm pretty sure this is the only reason why they changed it, is because they knew that with this matchmaking system in place, nobody's going to get kill streaks. So instead, they made it, alright, kill streaks aren't going to reset on death, but they're going to be kind of more expensive. So it's very hard to get kill streaks in this game, unless you're using the lower ones like the crossbow, UAV, care package. Those are pretty much the only ones you can get in a match. If you're lucky, you might be able to get a Hellstorm missile, maybe a helicopter, but not really. And if you're used to going for like chopper gunners and everything, not gonna happen. I don't think I've seen a chopper gunner once. I mean, I only have 2 hours played, but even other players who have been playing for like, you know, 16, 17 hours, they've never seen a chopper gunner in their entire time playing. Because it's just impossible to get kill streaks in the game, and they're just way too expensive to get before the game is over. So the only reason why that is because of the EOMM making everything super competitive and pretty much making everybody a 1 KD player. That's pretty much it. I mean, I'm seeing people that used to have like 4 KDs in Black Ops 4, they're sitting at like 1.6, which is really good for this game. I used to have like a 1.5 to 2 KD in pretty much every Black Ops title. I think a little bit higher maybe like 1.8 to 2, somewhere around there. But this game, I struggle to break even. Like, I looked at my combat record and I'm like 0.86, which is terrible. I haven't been 0.86 since I started playing Call of Duty. I don't even know if my KD was that low when I started playing Call of Duty, you know, back in COD 4. I mean, I don't know how I could have lost all my skills in not a whole lot of time, because when I was playing Modern Warfare, it wasn't great, but I also wasn't, like, terrible, especially when they introduced shipment and stuff. And once I started playing defensively in Ground War, it's just, I would generally either break even or go positive, but I generally wouldn't go negative. And that's pretty much been the experience in this game. Just constantly either breaking even or going negative. And it's hard for me to see what I'm doing wrong because it feels like I'm getting cheated out of kills a lot. So anyway, that's been the experience with multiplayer so far. Just bullets not registering, and having difficulty trying to aim because it seems like there's some sort of aim resistance. EOMM making everything super competitive and really frustrating, and also just kind of screwing you over in the process, you know, predetermining everything before the match is even started. And that is the reason why I would not recommend playing the multiplayer in this game in its current state. It's just not good. I mean, I know I gave Modern Warfare a whole lot of shit because it was a bad game, but at least the bullets registered. If my guns actually worked in this game, I might not be as negative towards this game as I am being. I generally like to stay positive and look for the positive things in games, but this one it's very hard to do because there really is no positives. I mean, the multiplayer is just not good. I mean, the campaign was alright, but it's only like 6 to 7 hours. That's not a lot of time. Zombies can get repetitive. I mean, now you can bring in a custom loadout, so that's kind of cool, I guess. Onslaught may be the saving grace for this game. Like, it may be a lot more fun because you just drop into a multiplayer map and shoot a bunch of zombies. So that could be cool. But it's only available on PS4 and PS5. PC and Xbox players have to wait an entire year to actually play that. So it's like, is it really worth the 60 or 70 bucks? Not really. It's just not a very good game. And unfortunately, that may be due to the pandemic. You know, people can't work in their offices as much. They have to work from home more. Maybe they don't have the right setups at home. And Treyarch was also given the task of making this game in like a year or two. I don't remember when they announced it, but Activision pretty much fired Sledgehammer, and Treyarch had to take over the next Call of Duty title while they were making Black Ops 4, or while they were working on Black Ops 4. You know, Treyarch tends to support their games a lot, and then they pretty much had to cut one of those years short because, well, you have to make another game very soon, a year earlier than the next game of yours that would have been released. I think Activision should have just said, alright, this is going to be Sledgehammer's last Call of Duty game, and then after that it's just going to be Infinity Ward and Treyarch, but that would have given Treyarch some time to prepare for that, but here it was just like, nope, Sledgehammer's out, Treyarch, you're working on the next game, better be ready in a year. And it's like, fuck. And you can tell that this game needed another year, because if that was the case, I don't think this game would be as broken as it is. Would have been able to do a lot more testing, campaign might have been longer, I don't know. But it is very apparent that they just did not have enough time for this game, and I think it's going to suffer because of that. Now, Treyarch does support their games, so hopefully they'll fix these issues and kind of make some big significant changes. So I trust Treyarch in that, but as of November 24th, can't recommend this game. But if they do fix a game in the future, then maybe it'll be worth it. But if you do buy the game, I would recommend buying it on PS4 or PS5, just because you would get access to Onslaught, zombies, and that could add a pretty good amount of time to your experience, which means it wouldn't feel like a total waste of money. And you would also be using a controller, which honestly is better to use in this game than using a mouse, because using a mouse just sucks. But that is pretty much it, I think. Yeah, I just can't recommend this game right now, just because it doesn't feel like a finished product. I mean, honestly, I think the beta felt better than the full release. Because in the beta, there was more movement speed, you know, it felt faster paced, and then they kind of toned that down for the full release. You don't move as fast, sliding's kind of broken now, like, it's just, it doesn't feel as fast paced as it did in the beta, and that really sucks. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this playthrough. Like I said, overall, the campaign was pretty cool, just too short, unfortunately. Zombies, I can't really say much about that because I don't really play it, but from what I've heard, it's pretty good, it's fun. At least it's more fun than the multiplayer, and the multiplayer is just not very good. So can't really recommend getting the game, but if you do, I recommend getting it on PS4 so that you have access to Onslaught and probably a bunch of other timed exclusives because PlayStation and Call of Duty have that partnership. But anyway, that is going to be it for this playthrough. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, leave a rating and a comment. Let me know what you thought of the game, whether it's the campaign, the zombies, multiplayer, whatever. And if you want to see more Let's Plays like this, you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so that you get notified when I upload. I think that's how it works. I'm not really sure. But anyway, that is it. I may make some multiplayer videos for the channel, but right now it's not looking likely because I don't really get any good gameplays and I really don't get any good clips. If I do, it's like one every 1 hour or 2 hours. So kind of hard to make videos on that, but I'll see what I can do. But I think I'm gonna focus more on single player stuff and doing Let's Plays because it's a lot more fun to me. So anyway, that's gonna be it for this playthrough. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll talk to you all later.